Okay, so, right. We're up and running. Okay. That's a good start, isn't it? So it's kind of like the witching hour. It's getting on for 4 o'clock. And I haven't been, like sleep's just been messy as fuck, like the last few days, as it has been, I'm sure for like everyone for fucking, like, years. So, I'm basically like, this tarot read, I've been sat on it for like 4 days maybe, and just ruminating over it again and again. It's loosely like the Rebel Alliance like spread at the moment. It's a collective reading, and it's really like where we are, and it's kind of it's for people who are awake. I mean, I don't know how, like, it's people who are on a mission, who actually want to fucking take out into the streets. I mean, the whole point of that is like you can't force it, and it's like divine purpose, all this kind of stuff. It's like la di da di da, and I love it, but it like piss me off as well. Hopefully, as we get into the reading, I'll get a bit clearer. To say, I mean, like the last few years, usually at this time in the morning, I've just come up with like some really awesome projects, but the one that probably like has got some legs is I'm designing a tarot card reading of Brighton, like Brighton street graffiti and art, and I've done it all around, lockdowns and stuff. And that's on Tarot of Brighton Town. So if anyone wants to check out like Tarot of Brighton Town, it'd be lovely for that to be like a collaborative project. There's loads of other stuff as well, but like that's the one that feels like it's got legs. So we're going to do the reading. I might pull a couple of oracles. I've got like Sacred Rebels, which are just lovely. So we might like get to them at the end. This tarot I haven't really set up. I do it with my cat. So like my cat moves cards. She's moved these all over the place. So we work together, and we also do things like kind of tarot energy readings for like stuck souls, so people who've recently like passed over. I work quite a lot with mental health, so it's actually like sort of very 3D my work. I mean, I just fascinated by this world. It is just so beautiful. But like, I like, I carry my shadow in that way. Anyway, let's get started. So I mean, to begin with, like 6 is kind of a sort of slightly intermediate. 7 would be like the divine. 7 would be perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect at all. And I think this this reading, how it's about just being in like total messiest messiness to kind of like succeed in the world, or to succeed in inverted commas, just like thrive. I love it, but like maybe it's like an unlearning, because like we start off with, oh man, I can't say that at all. Oh yeah, so just say this is African Tarot. It's really powerful. It's a really powerful deck. It's kind of like pocket size as well. But it kind of, you kind of like need to sort of clean it on quite a regular basis. So I'll just cleanse it, just, or reorder the cards or whatever. It's, sort of beautiful, vibrant, colourful illustrations, and also very childlike. That's what I love about it. I mean, it's like one of the most powerful decks I've got. So, okay. So we got the Eight of Pentacles. There we go. Eight of Pentacles. So like, I mean, this isn't a healing reading for the collective. This card at the moment, this is the collective. This is us, like all of us. And it's, I mean, this actually usually, it's like one of my favourite cards. I've got a Zen Tarot one of this. It's very grounding. It's like working. It's absorbed in work. It's just being steady. It's being consistent. But I think it's kind of like quite obvious, maybe, I don't know, that it's also kind of like where the vast majority of people are. It's kind of like their lives have become serious, even though they're not working. They're having to sort of take in the world with that kind of level of seriousness. And I think as well, it's kind of like, there's some enslavement with this. You can see this is almost a pre-rehearsed reading, can't you? But I've got to be quite quiet so I bloody wake everyone up, including Gypsy, and she seemed a bit peed off. I woke her up, actually. Yeah, it's not the worst card. If this is massively like where the collective are, it's like they've just accepted this new, it almost sort of feels like kind of nothing's changed. And to be honest, I go out every day, unless, Brighton is so full at the moment. Brighton is massively full of people. The parks are open. It's bloody, Brighton is Brighton. You won't keep Brighton down. Brighton's like where it's all going to kick off. So watch this space. But like, yeah, I think there's, it's like, oh yeah, don't judge, don't use these words, but there's groundedness. There's like, it's like what's going on here is nice, but there's brainwashing as well, and it's like in the Rider-Waite, he's actually staring at the Pentacle. That's news. I mean, I'm not watching. Just don't watch mainstream news because that kind of energy, I'm just like not like it's literally on a different frequency. It's just, ugh, you know, and it's not like it's propaganda. It's warped. You know, it's in the reality we live in. There is a sort of a warping, a distortion. You know, and I mean almost kind of like the way his hands are, her hands, slightly kind of distorted. It's like that's quite uncomfortable, to be honest. And a bit exposed as well. You know, there are sort of houses in the background for safety. And this person is like outside, just having to do this slightly monotonous job. And that's, you know, it's kind of like it's the effect, you know, it's the effect of the media. You know, people are just like, ugh. But I think it's like I'm saying, walking around Brighton. Is it? Is it? I mean, I don't see that, you know. I've like what it looks like to me is people wear these funny masks. Like we all get paid by the government now. I mean, it's just like, you know, yeah. But yeah, you know, this is Brighton, so things a bit different here, I guess. Not being judgy and being judgy. Sorry, not sorry. So, like, this card, Seven of Swords. Yeah, I really like this guy's mission, actually. I really like his mission. This is actually, it's interesting with the African, how it varies. Because he's actually quite determined here in the Rider-Waite. You got this cheeky chappy nicking as many flipping swords as he can fit into his hands and legging it, and he's like been caught. You know, they can see him. They're chasing after him. He's got a silly hat. He's running away. He looks a bit obvious. This guy's more kind of like, yeah, he's kind of on his mish. Definitely. And I think this is like action. This card usually, you know, comes up and he's like, oh, what's he trying to get away with? Like, you know, what's he, what's the word? What's he, oh man, silence. Silence in the sun. Dreams feel fulfilled, life still left to run. Place your hands into the air, all join hands with me. I am the marathon man, catch me if you can. Got miles and miles already to run, miles and miles still left to go. I am the marathon man, we got the whole world in our hands. Oh, sorry, yeah, I sing. It's like Ian Brown, legend. Yeah, so yeah, this is basically like, if you're fucked off, you make a statement. And if it's the first time, if you're coming out with this now, you know, because a lot of people are just refused from the word go. And I think it's kind of like, maybe it's going to be a slower process for people now, but it's like, it's not easy for everyone. It's not easy in terms of the choices people are making. And you're exposed, you're out in the open, you're self-conscious. It's actually kind of like the more self-conscious, the more kind of fear-based, the more likely you're going to get caught. I mean, this guy he is like the marathon man, and he's just, I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows what he's doing. Totally. But it's compared with the Rider-Waite, it's like he's got his spirit animal here as well. He's got a seagull going on. It's nice. It's almost like the cloud is over the tent. They can't see him. And this sort of tallies nicely with this, which is a protection card. And I think it's like to be oneself and to know that what one is doing is like the right action for self. To be authentic like that is to be protected. And in terms of like celestial protection, in terms of universal guidance, in terms of the divine, in terms of understanding a deeper version of the self, in terms of rowing towards calmer waters, like of the mind, and have the responsibility to take other people with you as well. Just to be self. And if self is just going, this is bullshit, man, what is this weird, I've done the research, this don't work, or there's what about the alternative point of view, why is no one questioning it? It's if there's a little element of awakening, you will be, and you will feel really exposed. It will be really uncomfortable. But in the mind, you will go towards calmer waters, even if that's only momentarily, because we've got them descending. So these cards, we've got the 7, we've got the 6. That's actually going backwards. This action, it's it's carrying us to calmer waters, but then really it's cycling. There's something karmic going on here. And with the next card as well, the King of Pentacles. But it's just to have done something, if that's what your soul is calling you to do, just to act, just to stand in your own truth and understand that and be vulnerable. I mean, this is vulnerability. It's like, my God, shining a light into your own soul and looking into every darkest corner of your soul, realizing that is actually a reflection of the outside world, all of it, not just the light, all of it. You, or this idea you create reality, that's fine, but your consciousness is in a state of ever expansion into the universe, and you can't ignore all the crazy shit, and you are connected to all the crazy shit, not just the light, or you're in the process of transmuting the dark into light. But I mean, that's the cycle, that's like yin yang, that will come back again. But it's a state of expansion for sure. And we get on to alchemy and transmutation in a moment. And so King of Pentacles. It's weird because this is a very different King of Pentacles. There we go. See that? I mean, we've actually got someone in the background here, which is just like not King of Pentacles. He sits on his own. He's like planty, mossy, vegetated throne. It represents like wealth, fulfillment. I think kind of like in a political sense, it represents the kind of the two-way kind of vision of reality, this kind of splitting that sort of there is absolutely no right or wrong anymore, and that's the kind of decisions, and that's the face, that's like, you know, yeah, it's quite masculine, you know, because it represents these kind of political figures. It represents like, you know, subconscious perhaps, you know. Yeah, certainly for myself. I mean, I'm healing wounds like with my father, so this is, you know, the calmer waters. It's like becoming this. But for me, this is karmic for the time being. This almost sort of represents like the end of this part of the journey, and a figure who one has to turn back, quite, you know, like back to the beginning. But that's fine, because this is the action. This is the mind going to calmer waters. And so, you know, he's almost like a kind of sort of judgment in this case. So, like, politically, yeah, you know, whatever, Trump, you know, he was just the most multifaceted like person anyway. But I mean, obviously, it's like 2 days between, you know, until the I don't know, I'm not watching the news, but all that, you know, this is you can look at this as the kind of the divine masculine power in oneself, and the choices, and the splitting of realities. And it's like, which way are we going to go? It's not making much sense. So I'll explore this further. Okay, the interesting thing, compared to the Rider-Waite, we've got like, there's not usually like another figure, so we've got like female figure in the background. And it's like he's actually on his farm, so in some ways, once you do this, you can gain wealth and richness on an unprecedented scale. And I think for most of us, we're not choosing material wealth. We're looking for that. To be a father in like a world, yeah, to be a kind of ruler and paternal influence, and like a caretaker, you know, to look after self, others, earth, you know. I mean, this is like an earth god, and that empowered, strong, masculine, which is like, I mean, you've got to be on your edge. This is about being on and not over your edge. And then you reach this, but it doesn't matter if you go through this process and you're back to square one, because we're in a state of waking up, falling asleep, and it's learning. It's back to learning sometimes. it's back to making mistakes, rubbing yourself down, refocusing, even like slipping back into, I was about to say, no one judges you if you wear a mask like I do, sorry. It's like, there is, for me, for the right side of history, there is that. And for fuck's sake, I want to go out and party over the summer. I want to get back into festivals. And some people, you got to fucking sort your shit out. Seriously. I mean, like, I've wanted to dance and sing and do street karaoke. And I've been trying to do, like, projects and festivals. And you motherfuckers. What the fuck is wrong with you? And this is the king speaking to you. To subjects like fucking anarchy, man. Anarchy. Organised, like, nature-based anarchy. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's gonna be well fun. It's gonna be well fun. Oh man, you probably hardly hear me. I'm absolutely shattered. But like, I'm working, so it's good. That's good. And I think this is beautiful, because this is the state that so many people that I'm seeing online, like particularly online. I mean, I sort of know a few people like this, but this is the 5D energy, this is the transmuted energy, this is if you stand in your power and go through this journey, suddenly everything transforms into beauty and wonder, and it's like you're actually the one creating. You're the manifester, you're the creator. You've gained control over your understanding, your comprehension of the universe, and it's magical. It happens when you're not looking. You suddenly emerge from psychic blind spot, and this is like 5D and beyond consciousness, unlike the physical. But like, I'm sort of talking quite like, what we can do. It's all kind of like what we can do, conspiratorially. How can we disobey and break the rules? And like, it's a journey. It's a journey into self. That's actually a bit of a cliche, because that's what these cards are called, like the journey into self. The magician is in all of us. It's in all of us. We're all on this. Even if it seems like really slow, we're all in this process of like learning or unlearning as things break down, and as we rebel, and as we realise that we can't not change. This is a period of huge change. But one of the things about a magician is like there's still a seriousness, there's still and there's a kind of like trickery. It's like, you can't, there's still a suspicion of self, others, because if you've got that level of power, if you've mastered all these things, okay. And that is why, like, and I really love this reading. Because at the end, who do we have? Who do we have? The archetype of Maul. Hello. Duh. Like, I mean, if anyone knows the fall, that doesn't look like a very high cliff to me. It looks like a dusty nut or something. And I mean, it's... oh my god. That's one nutcase fall. And like, that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. It's like, you know, if you rounded up like all the people who are like accessing 5D, like, all fucking crazy, or like the collective, this is plunk them on an island somewhere and sail away. We really don't want to know about these people at all. They're mental. I mean, like, you know, I'm pretty sure when I'm doing my shopping, no one approaches me, so I'm just gibbering and singing and just got this smile on my face. I'm sure people are just going, weirdo. I fucking love that. I mean, in terms of what, I wouldn't even say what I've been through, because it's just been incredible, but like, you know, the spiritual journey of awakening is like, has prepared me so to land in this new beauty. It's like the child, you know, it's us returning to our child, all of us. And it's like when life is like so serious and concentrated, like, you know, everyone, you know, and I mean, this person kind of, you know, particularly in the Rider-Waite, they're quite beaten down, you know, they're sort of exposed, they're outside. In some ways, sort of like, you know, they've chosen to be there, but in other ways, it's sort of like, you must do this. Like, the fools, like, the only thing we're going to do is just blithely step into the unknown. It's just, you know, to be these energies right now is what gives us protection. And I mean, there's no waterworks here, but you know, it's laughing and crying. I guess here, you know, I saw this film a couple of days ago, The Artist. Oh my God, what a beautiful film! And because it's so light at the beginning, and it's about this guy, and he really does go through his journey, and it gets like really dark, and it's kind of like, this is very, it's in black and white, and it's about the advent of talkies. And there's this bit where he has a nightmare, and like, he's still silent, and he starts to hear everything else, but when he tries to talk, he can't, and everything else becomes animated in terms of sound, and yet he's still, and he's going rah, 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 rah. So yeah, I mean, there's like tears as well, but if we access the full energy. This is so interesting. So this is where Gypsy's come in. So she's run up and down on these cards over the weekend. And the first thing she did is she chucked this out. So this was out here. So this journey is a lot easier. It's a lot easier. Because we make a stand. We stand in our own sovereignty city. Sovereignty city, that's awesome. Might keep that. We sit in our own sovereignty city and become the manager. Yeah. And then, what was the other thing that happened? She kicked him. So it was like this. There's two that was like, oh, I may have got this wrong. Oh, I can't quite remember. They went into the middle. Oh no, it was the Fool. This was, yeah, okay. So it was like that. So you've got the Fool. The Fool who's actually happy to go back into the Matrix and do the work. But as the Fool, as this archetype, so the Fool is a teacher. It's nice. I really like that. It's worth sitting with for a while. The Fool is so easily, dismissed. Haha, motherfuckers. Yeah. And the one who encompasses, all the archetypes, every other card, is Johnny. Hang on. Woken someone up. I've really got a whisper. And the other thing, she kicked them all. And I think it went like this. It was something like that. This is really just about clearing the mind. Clearing the mind of the clutter. And then we can access this beauty quite easily. But in some ways this is sort of being a leader as well. Leading towards a calmer place where we can play. I just really want to play. Okay. So we're going to do we'll do a Sacred Rebels. What I can do is, because they're quite... No, I'll just read the description. Oh. just sit with this and meditate on it for a while. Heaven sent. Heaven sent. She looks like a sheep with a big funky afro. Oh. I'm gonna I'll put the description, like I'll post this on my page, and I'll put the description up. We're gonna go animals. I'm gonna go animals. Anyway, I've just been called to I'll put the description of these up when I post this on my timeline. Can't quite see that as dreaming, sight, knowledge, hidden gifts. Okay, right, I think we're done. That was fun. That was really good. I'm just gonna go and meditate on these like angel cards as well. enjoyed that. I'm sort of doing these quite regularly. I hope you can hear me. Probably